Princess of Wales, Princess Kate. Are you kidding me? And you did not understand to look at it and to say this is a picture of sweetness of a mother on Mother's Day, trying to make us, the audiences, the public, understand that she will be okay, even though it must have been so difficult to do that picture, knowing what she was going through. The other picture in the car, yes, she's facing the other way from the cameras. It was probably the moment that she found out this unbelievable, shocking diagnosis for a woman, a beautiful, healthy woman of 42, a mother, a future queen, a wife, a daughter. Why couldn't you just get that? If you don't have any kind of observation skills, do something else. Don't comment on. Stella Adler once said, life beats down and crushes the soul. And art reminds you that you have one. We're so much more inclined to receive mediocre acting, which is not even acting. That's mediocre faking. That's mediocre pretending. It cannot even be called acting. Acting greatly is reserved for some few people who can do it. Actors and non-actors. When you leave the audience, when you want to stay out of the public, when you want to be private in public, because there's something happening and you're taking care of your soul and your spirit. That's what great actors do. Even when they have cameras, they take a look into themselves. They forget the cameras are there. And they take a public solitude moment, a private in public moment to deal with what's happening with them. And then they reveal that through the characters they're portraying. We send healing to Kate and the family. You have no idea what doing greatly is. So you cannot bring yourself to call Kate Princess Catherine. Princess Catherine, no. We send our healing to Kate and the family. You still are not able to watch what Princess Catherine is doing. Give yourself a moment to see if there's something that you can learn. Maybe there's something you can learn from her doing greatly, behaving greatly, despite all the obstacles, personal, she must be going through right now. You cannot accept that because you are still a fake. So at least recognize that. That would be a great thing to do. Recognize that in yourself, people, and accept it. Oh, they're reaching out now, but they're reaching out privately. How are you reaching out privately if you're announcing it publicly? We want them to heal in privacy. In privacy, you want them to heal in privacy when your previous behavior was that of not giving them the privacy, but revealing their private moments in public that you had no right to reveal. You don't have the right to reveal another human's private moment in public. That doesn't make you a dignified human being. People who allow themselves to expose private moments in public themselves in such a powerful way, Princess Catherine was able to do on her own without being supported by her family, who would have been all around her if she wanted that. She needed to do it on her own. She needed to get to the next step, to her strength. I think that that gave her so much strength in her recovery. At this time in her life, she could do that. So she can get stronger, she can get better for her children, for her husband, for her people. You cannot come and say, I'm going to reveal private moments of other people. That is not your job to do. If you are doing that, is because revelation of your humanity is not at your disposal, because you're yet to form yourself as a human being. So look into that. This is to all the comments and all the conspiracy theorists out there who did not know. They're apologizing. They had no idea. We didn't know she was going through this. It doesn't mean that you have to go out and create stories that are unbelievable and hurtful and cruel. Observe photos from before that were being rejected. Why were they rejected? They were beautiful photos because they were edited. Are you kidding me? Do something else, because this is not for you. If you have to wait until you're being spoon-fed with what's going on, and then you have to say, oh, I'm so sorry about everything. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm so sorry. How could you not have seen it before? What do you have to say about it now? You know what? Princess Catherine is not even angry about it. Princess Catherine, in my opinion, doesn't have any kind of negative bone in her body the way that I do. And I'm complaining about all those before theories. In the way that she sat herself on that bench in such vulnerable position with so much grace and so much strength, still thought of the rest of the people. What better example of a royal act? Princess Catherine shines a light on humanity as only great actors can. Actors, not fakers, not pretend B-listers. I'm talking great actors. Hello, everyone. This is Mihaela with Art of Experiencing. A couple of days after the public announcement of Princess Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her reveal of cancer diagnosis, I was so moved by her. I was thinking to myself, how can I, in this channel from an acting interpretation, find a link? Do I have anything to say about her statement and her heartbreaking cancer diagnosis? I was moved as all of the other people were moved. And immediately I understood from an acting perspective my feelings. I did a video before. It's all about comparing the great Princess Catherine to one of the very famous actors from a long time ago from the Moscow Art Theater, Olga Nipper. She talks about when she first came to New York and realism was introduced to the American audiences for the first time under the supervision and direction of the guru of acting, who changed acting into true living on stage rather than pretending on stage, which majority of the people still seem to think acting is about. She talked about how the audiences in New York, having seen actors on stage, acting, doing, behaving as real people, turning their backs to the audience in order to be able to speak to other characters, speaking softly at times, leaving the audience alone, not playing to them, was such a shock at that time. This was in 1923, I believe, 100 years ago, that at the end of the performance, the audiences had no idea what to do because they were being shown a different way. They were being shown a new method, a new system of acting, which was direct, illuminating, the human spirit. It was no longer about narcissism. It was no longer about, let me pretend, let me show these grand gestures that I'm putting on, let me show the facade of the character. They took all of that off. They unveiled all of that. The actors were taking on the characters as if they were living them. The experiences of the characters in the fictional stories were no longer a pretend. They were living those experiences. Micuțu,
Da.
vă sun eu înapoi.
Oh, ok, bine. Ok, tunci un pic după aia.
Într-o jumătate de oră. They were for the first time showing their humanity through the fictional characters, through the fictional stories of these characters. They were living experiences, art of experiencing. That's where my channel's name comes in. It is from that great new way of introducing acting to the public that was going to be revelatory of their humanity, therefore the audience's humanity. And they were taken aback at first because it was something new. They had no idea how to applaud it. And it took a 5-minute silence in the audience before they all started to applaud because it was new. It was something that they have not seen. They also introduced the moment of public solitude. This is what I want to focus on this episode. When I saw Catherine, Princess of Wales, sitting on the bench with the background of the beautiful spring flowers in bloom, dressed without any of the royal tiaras, without any of the royal dresses, without any of the public persona that she was being seen before when she was going to do all these amazing work events in her life. It was the first time, for me at least, I saw Princess Catherine as a human being who was presenting to us great act. The word act comes from Latin, has the root in Latin, and it means to do, it means to be, it means to comport. That's what acting is to me. Acting to me is not narcissistic. Acting to me is not fake. Acting to me is not pretend. So when I hear all these people talk about acting or give this word to people who do not earn it, who have not merited it, it makes me just want to say, stop. You're misunderstanding what acting is. That moment of Princess Catherine sitting on that bench in her private place on her own, she could have so easily brought Prince William, who she talked about in her speech, in her statement, the support that she gets from him. She could have made it so much easier for herself to have Prince William sit next to her on the bench, but she wanted to do it on her own. That was a perfect example of what's described in acting as public solitude. Public solitude is a revelation of your most private fears, most private challenges that are so specific to one person, to her in this case. They cannot but become universal and understood by all of us watching. That's why her statement was so moving. Of course, we were heartbroken to hear this from her. I don't think anybody saw this coming. Such a elegant, beautiful, healthy 42-year-old princess was going to be diagnosed with cancer, a mother of 3 children, a future queen, wife to Prince William, the future King of England. We never thought anything bad can happen. We look at other people's lives and we think, perfect life. What could go wrong? Nothing can go wrong. It hit us all in the face because it put us in front, face to face with our own fragility, mortality. That moment described by Stanislavski in acting, and I am attributing this to her, not to say she was acting in the way that acting is being understood, in a way that it's greatly done with so much dignity, with so much power, with so much hope, so much care for her young children. Duty, when she speaks about the work that she does, how important it is to her. And she wants to get back to it, but she needs this time to be private. She needs this time to be able to heal. She needs to surround herself with her family to heal her mind, body, and her spirit. She said, we were all so moved because she took the most difficult way in her choice to come and reveal to the whole world what she was going through. She could have very well said, I'm not going to do this. By the way, I don't believe what other commentators are saying about the fact that she was pushed into doing it. She had to do it. Us, the audiences, I'm calling ourselves the audiences, were demanding so much more of her because of all the horrible conspiracy theories that were happening before. I don't think she did it because of that. I think she did it because she is a genuine, authentic human being. That's why she's the most famous woman in the world. I was crying for the last 2 days and I wanted to do the video coming to you crying. And then I said, what am I doing? Am I going to do it in a way that I'm going to make it about me, 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 me? This is what I'm feeling. This is what's happening to me. This is what I'm going through watching her, It is such a royal class act. She lived in those 2 minutes. Remember, act, to be, to behave, to do in the way that I felt, was using her hands in such a organic way to try to get over the next line and the next and the next. The moments that she took in between where she was breathing, looking down, trying to gather her strength, trying to cover the fear that I cannot even imagine she must be going through. I cannot even imagine. I know the hope was there, the hope she has for everybody else, the selfishness, the heart she has at this moment to be shared with everybody else, to not forget to mention everybody else who's going through this, to remind all of them that they are not alone. What an act of generosity. What an act of grace. What an act of elegance. What an act of dignity. What an act of vulnerability. Vulnerability comes from a place of courage. To be able to be vulnerable, you must be courageous first. It's not the way that it was, again, misunderstood, implanted in our minds over the years to mean if you show vulnerability, it means that you are a weak person. No, vulnerability comes from a place of courage. Princess Catherine embodies, encapsulated all of the great acts of all of the great people and our potential to be and to do moments like she did. I am going to be private in public. To be private in public is such a difficult task to take on for anyone. And especially when you're going through a medical diagnosis, scariest for any of us when we think about it. I'm going to do this on my own. I can do this. And I have told my children that I am well and I'm getting stronger every day. The cover that she had and all of that was bubbling underneath, fear. What if it doesn't go the way that we now think everything is going to go? Those emotions bubbling underneath. She wasn't crying in front of us. Oh, look at me. You don't know what I'm going through. I'm going to make this all about me. No, even in the most difficult time of her life, she's thinking about the rest of us. She's thinking to come out and let everybody know that she is well and she's getting stronger every day. All of the conspiracy theories, all of those people were such bad judges of character that were coming up with all these stupid, I'm sorry to say, imbeciles. I'm going back and I'm looking at those and I'm thinking, for you to be on a platform where you are a commentator, where you can talk about other people, do you not have the instinctual understanding of character? Could you not have seen the reason she did not come out for such a long time? The reason there were not more news about what was happening with the princess, with Princess Catherine, must have been because she was going through something that was much graver medically. She had a very difficult abdominal surgery that required for her to be in a hospital for a long time, much longer time than the usual operation that one goes in for. Those clear statements, they were giving us those clear statements. Could you not let your mind be open and interpret that to be what she said? The same thing with Prince William when he was not showing up for the funeral of his godfather, King of Greece, who passed, King Constantine, I believe. Everybody was agitated, wanting to know, inquiring, give us this, look at us, we're the audience. We want to have you tell us what is going on. Well, great acting, great being in the way that Princess Catherine has comported herself has shown you what great is. Did you want her to change all of a sudden and to play to you, to play to the audience, to bring in the narcissistic side of others? Acting greatly is being great. Revelations of who you are, as Princess Catherine was able to show us in the 2-minute statement. That is what acting greatly is. Not a lot of people are able to reveal great heart and great soul, to be able to put your guard down. I'm coming to you, frail, putting out the message and reminding everybody who is going through a similar heartbreaking situation that they are not alone, reminding us all to have faith. Why did it take me a couple of days to make the connection between what she did and acting greatly? Princess Catherine, private in public. What a royal class act she is, even in her most difficult time. All of the before conspiracies, all of the nonsensical, I don't even know if I'm using words that exist or I'm making them up, because as you see, I cannot speak English. I don't speak English as my first language, but that's okay. People like her give others, give people like me, who are not even near to the life that she has, that understanding that no matter what our status, financial situation, we are so much more alike than we are different. All of the crazies out there coming up with these horrible stories. The video when she was coming out of the market with Prince William and she was walking, carrying a bag, they had to go on and they had to say, that is not her, that is a double, that is a double. I'm sure the one in Montecito would have loved to have anybody say that about her. In her understanding of acting, that would have been a compliment. She needs a double because she is an actress. Beautiful Princess Catherine turning away from the audience, not because she doesn't want to continue with her duty, the service that she is doing for people in her role as Princess of Wales, in her future role as the Queen. She's turning away because there's something that is going on. She's living a private, public moment. Leave her alone. I said all these things even before the announcement. Now, addressing such a private moment in her life was absolutely beyond anything that I have seen in a long time, actors or non-actors. Acting is not putting on an act. That's the misconception. That's the misunderstanding. I just want to read some of the acting quotes from some of the great actors we all connect with, we all admire, we all relate to. They make us cry, they make us laugh. Allowing yourself to be seen with all the aspects of our humanity, not just the public persona, but also the private persona. That's why we all admire her. She is doing it. She is the creative being in the royal family. She is the one. The actor's job, shining a light on the human spirit. Did she not do that? Because I thought she did it impeccably. You know, having watched that over and over again and crying every time while watching her, not only did she illuminate or shine a light on her human spirit, it makes us who might have not understood the time that she took before she decided to go and reveal this heartbreaking diagnosis. She illuminated our humanity or lack thereof in some people who went ahead and came up with all these absurd ideas of what was happening. She made us stop and say, why are we doing this? Rumors, why can't we just listen to what she had said from the beginning, to what Prince William and her have given us from the beginning, where they said we need some time. She's going through an abdominal surgery. It's grave. It's going to need a lot of recuperating. No, that's not satisfying to us. We have to go after what we want. We need to see her now playing to the audience because we are so much more used to the mediocre acting coming from the other people. I feel like telling a story is a spiritual exercise. And I think that it's something that we need as a culture and as humans. Holly Hunter says, you put your nightmares up there, you put your dreams up there, and people can see them better because they can stand outside of it and recognize themselves inside it. Throughout the work of actors, we discover we're not alone in our struggles, dreams, curiosities, joys, longings, fears, shame, and doubts. Their heartfelt performances can help us broaden our understanding of ourselves and others, make us want to do better and be resilient through the tough times, whether it be by wanting to be more like certain characters or distinctly less like others. As Stella Adler, one of the most important acting teacher in the history of acting, as Stella Adler once said, life beats down and crushes the soul, and art reminds you that you have one. Prayers to the royal family, to Princess Catherine. Thank you so much to so many of you who subscribed. I feel bad saying that right now because I feel it's the least important thing. But I just want to take a moment and say thank you to everybody who somehow the last video on my channel did the best of all. So thank you for finding it. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for subscribing. Your generosity and your kindness to my channel and to me means so much. Please let me know what you think of the beautiful act of grace of Princess Catherine illuminating humanity. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Mwah, mwah.